Hello everyone, this is Brittany with Redeemable Junk, and I'm here today to show you my newest journal that I just completed. I'm going to call her the Edward Denton journal because there's a bunch of ephemera in here that's all Edward Denton's. I got it from a estate sale not too long ago, so I used a bunch of it. I made the cover of this very simple. I just used some Tim Holtz paper, a vintage doily, and then I just did a little dangle that has some vintage lace, and then some seam binding and some more lace. And the back side is just the same. It just has the doily on it. When we open it up, I have an authentic ledger sheet from 1965. The paper's very brittle, but I was able to put it into the journal, and I just thought that it really added to it. And over here we have a glassine bag, the beautiful pressed flower, and some sari silk and some vintage lace. And inside the bag we have a receipt from Miller's Hospital in Winslow, Indiana, and it's funny because that hospital isn't even there anymore. It's from 1946, and I thought this was really funny because he paid $1. I mean, who goes to the emergency room and pays $1? I just thought that was so neat. Then on the other side of it, we have another type of receipt from Edward Denton from 1949. And then I just added a Tim Holtz photo down here in the bottom with some lace, and topped it off with some lace and some antique music paper. And over here I just made a pocket. Again, I have some lace. I topped it off with a bulb pin, and I put a little vintage button on it. And inside of it we have, this is from the American Legion in 1946 for Edward Denton, and it was his American Legion card. I just thought that was super neat. Then over here I just made a little pocket with a piece of ephemera, some kind of it looks like something to vote for a county councilman. And then I have Edward Denton's other American Legion card from 1947. And then I just made a little tag from some grunge paper. Topped it off with some sari silk. And over here we just have some writing paper. I did a little snippet. And I put a rusted clothespin on it, and some buttons and some vintage lace. I did the same up here. I just got some vintage lace, just topped it off. And over here we have a CD envelope that I decorated. I used a flower, and I used some cheesecloth and some neat, I don't even know what we would call this, but it's some type of doily type stuff. And here we have Edward Denton's immunization register. It's funny because he's only got one shot, but I thought that was neat, so I just added that to the journal. Over here we have a vintage bingo card, and then we have another receipt for $4.40 from 1949 from H.W. Ramsey Company in Oakland City, Indiana. This is an authentic piece of vintage paper. I added that to it. And I added an addition card over here, made it a pocket, and tucked it away with this looks like it's a salary. It looks like he made $56.50. And then this is for the Order of the Eagles, and it's a receipt for $13. Then over here I have a photo of this lady with her child. And I just added some vintage lace, topped it off with some sari silk and a button. And over here I actually made a glassine bag. If you love that sound, I just love that sound so much. And I topped it off with some vintage lace, and this is the most beautiful vintage lace I think I have. I really did not want to use it because it's so gorgeous, but I did. And I just made a little bow and topped it off with some seam binding. On the inside of here, this is for $1. I don't really know where it's to, but it's to Edward Denton. And then over here, I'm not sure what this says. It says it's a or rump bill holders. I'm not really sure. It's some type of ephemera that I included with the journal. And over here, I just topped it off. It's 1942. This was a report card. I took part of the report card and snipped it and made a little snippet with it. And over here, I think this is some type of time card. I'm not really sure. I added some vintage fabric and some vintage lace. And then inside of it, we have the coal mining company. And it looks like he made $177. It's his payroll check, or his payroll receipt. Over here, I did a vintage bag, glassine bag. And this is a membership card from 1952 for Edward Denton again. I just made a little snippet up here and topped it off with that. It looks like a flower doily with a little flower in the corner and a little button in the middle of it. Over here I have a glassine bag of this darling little boy. I just think he is so adorable. Look at him. Isn't he so cute? I just have another piece of ephemera inside of it for, it looks like $33. And over here, I just topped this piece of vintage ledger paper off so you could write on it with some sari silk, some vintage lace, and a button. And then over here, I just love this page. I think it's so pretty. It lifts up so you can journal under it. And I included some vintage fabric, some vintage lace, some sari silk, a little flower topped off with a clothespin. And then over here, this is that hospital bill. I made a copy of it and I added it to the journal. Here's some space to write on. I made a little snippet over there. Actually, this was gifted to me from Lisa Bernard. She gifted this snippet to me in a pack, and I just thought it was so darling. I had to add it to this journal. I thought it matched it so well. I love it. Then over here we have this picture of this darling little girl, and behind it I have some sewing pattern paper, and then I just topped it off with some vintage lace and a little flower. Then over here I used an original piece of ledger paper, and I made a, let me show you, a belly band with it, and I also made a pocket with it, and I decorated the bottom with the rest of that report card or health card, and I topped it off with a button. And this man must have loved the American Legion, because I have tons of American Legion cards. This is his other American Legion card from 1956. And this is some more of his cards from the American Legion. And this is actually the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States from 1956 from Princeton, Indiana. And I'm so sorry for that noise. I'm going to turn that down right now. I thought I had my sound down on my phone, but I didn't. I just made pockets. This is a original piece of ledger paper from 1959, and I just made 2 pockets with it, topped it off with this. Over here I just made a little pocket, another American Legion card from Edward Denton, and I just made a little snippet up here and added it. Some more journaling space, some more journaling space. Now over here I just added this tip in, and I thought this was so beautiful. It's of this little girl, and I added a little doily, and I added some gauze that I coffee dyed, and this little tag that says I love you with a little button. Isn't that just darling? I thought it was so cute. And then on the other side is a little boy laughing with his dog, and I just got some cardboard type stuff behind it that came with some packaging, a doily, some cheesecloth. Then over here is one of those bags, those decorative bags. I sewed it and cut it in half. And I made my own little snippet. I got inspiration from Lisa Bernard's snippet. I made my own. Topped it off with that. And there's nothing in that. I thought I'd put something in there, but I didn't. And over here, I just have another little snippet that I made. And over here, I have a pocket. I don't have nothing in it. I forgot. but it's a pocket, so you can add whatever you want behind it. And it's of this beautiful little girl. It has some vintage lace on the bottom with a flower, some cheesecloth behind it, and some sewing pattern paper on the other side that's ruffled. Over here we have a pocket with a picture of that little girl again. I just made a little collage with her. And on the inside of here, this is an employee statement from Campbell Contractions from it don't say, but August 30th from Edward Denton. I just added that into the glassine bag and tucked it into the pocket that I made. Over here, I used one of the American Legion cards because there were so many of them. I just used one. I made a little cluster down here, some lace that's hanging off, and then tucked away was this bird card that I found in his wallet, along with another bird card that I found in his wallet, and another American Legion card. Over here is an envelope that I made. I don't have nothing in it, but you can add whatever you want to it. And then I made a pocket over here with a report card. And this is not Edward Denton's report card. I wish that it was. But this is from Bernard Barney from 1937. And it's a report card. He looks like he was a pretty good student. Mostly B's and 1 C. Made a pocket there. I topped it off with a button card with some sari silk behind it and some lace. Just left some room over here to write. This is a very delicate, original piece of vintage paper. And this is the health card of Barney Bernard. He must be in their family somehow because it all came together. And then I made a snippet on the side as a clothespin, a button, some gauze, some vintage lace, some sari silk. I left some room to journal. And over here, I used one of these cards and I made it into a pocket. I added the other part of that report card or health card. I added a picture of this beautiful little girl, and this came from my husband's grandfather's. It was his multiplication fact table. And I just thought that it was so neat. I tucked that in here. Another picture. So if you love kids or love pictures of kids, this is the journal for you. We have the other side of the glassine bag. I just topped it off with the rest of the health card. And on the inside, I have another health card that I made into a little booklet. Oh, almost glued together. And then this Ode 1919 Ode Trusty Catalog card from M.M. Johnson Company. And then this is that off. Oh, I forgot about her. I almost forgot about her. I topped her off with some sari silk, some gauze, and then this is that authentic piece of vintage paper. It's very delicate. And then I just added the other part of my husband's grandfather's multiplication table. And that's that. That is the journal that I made, the Edward Denton journal. I hope that you guys enjoyed this flip through. This is a little bit out of my style. I don't usually make journals like this, but this was very, very fun to make, and I really enjoyed making it, actually. I think I'm going to start going with more vintage journals. I really enjoyed it. So, don't forget to leave a comment below and like the video, and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this flip through. You guys have a wonderful day.